Welcome back to the REI Hot Seat. I'm Andrew Hines here with Jacob Campanaro, and we are going to talk about a Toronto deal that just went firm. So a deal Jake helped a client get. This is going to be a case study. We're going to go over the numbers, the plan. And if you are new to the channel, that's what this channel is about. We're going through the psychology of a real estate investor. What do they look at qualitatively? What do they look at in the numbers? And what variables do we need to be looking at as potential areas for change? So we're going to go over some of that stuff. Jake, thanks for doing this yet again.
Good afternoon, Andrew.
We're getting in the groove. We're getting in the groove. Okay, yeah. So, first off, Jake, tell us about this building.
Yeah. So this is downtown Toronto. Okay, it's an 8-unit property.
So it's already
8 units, right, existing. And the part that's very intriguing about this one is the deal structure. Okay. How we were able to structure the deal in the current climates to make it a home run for the buyer. And something I can note is that we do have very similar properties to this coming on the market shortly.
Okay.
Although this one's come and gone already, we do have other properties very, very similar going to be hitting the market and with similar deal structures. So if you're looking and you're interested on how we can make properties work downtown Toronto, this is a perfect episode for you.
It almost sounds like a foreign concept because as a generality, people wouldn't be looking to Toronto for, say, a property that's going to cash flow.
Yeah.
However, I'm sure there's an element of that in this plan, which we're going to get into. It's all about how you do a deal. More so than are there deals out there? Yes, of course there are, but how are you going to do it? How are you going to approach it to make it work?
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
Okay, so we're starting with 8 units. Is there a plan to transition it, or is this a turnkey type deal?
So this does have upside. So this particular property does have upside. There's out of 8 units, there are probably 6 units that can have lifts still.
In other words, just you can boost the rents.
You can boost the rents,
Okay.
yeah. Let's talk condition of the property, right?
Okay.
So the condition of the property right now is, I would say, B+. Right? B to B+. So units were renovated between 5 and 2 years ago.
Okay.
So the ones obviously 5 years ago need more work. The ones 2 years ago need to freshen up. And
how much work do you need over 5 years?
Yeah, like let's say 5 years ago, they put down linoleum flooring.
Did people do that 5 years ago?
Some people did, right? Or, the MDF flooring and things like that. So the water's got into it. They've swollen a little bit. So let's say the work ranging here. Laminate.
Laminate is brutal for the swelling of the joints. Yeah.
So, especially by the front door.
Oh, yeah.
With the salt
it looks so bad. Yeah.
So, some units are going to need some new flooring. All the units have new kitchens.
Okay.
Right.
So just some flooring swaps, some paint. Paint is a typical thing.
Yeah. So nothing huge, but definitely room to grow.
Can you read through units 1 through 8, what the rents are currently?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So running through 1 through 8, I can give you rents. So unit 1, which is a basement unit, 3-bedroom, is $3,150. Unit 2, which is ground floor 2-bedroom, $2,094. Unit 3, which is a second floor 2-bedroom, $1,973. Unit 4, which is a 2-bedroom 3rd floor unit. We just did a rental increase there, so that's at $2,075. And then the second half of the building, so back to the basement, we're a 1-bedroom basement unit, $1,416. Second floor 2-bed, $1,960. Second floor 2-bed, $2,500, which would be the market for a 2-bed second floor.
So that's market. So $2,500. Okay.
That's vacant right now. We're going to be leasing that up.
Okay. So we'll assume that it gets rented. Okay.
And then 2-bedroom top floor, currently $1,872.
So unit 1, we have $3,150. Is that market rent?
I would say $3,150 to $3,200. Yeah, market rent. Yeah.
So we'll just call it $3,150. Yep. So the $2,094 in unit 2, is that
$2,500?
So that's going to be a $2,500.
Yeah.
Okay. And then the 1973, what's market?
$2,500.
$2,500.
All the 2 beds are above ground.
So these are all 2 beds? Yeah. Okay. So
above ground 2 beds with nice
So
light.
$2,075 in unit 4. Is that going to be $2,500 as well?
Yep.
Okay. And then unit 5?
Unit 5 is the basement unit again. So that's going to be $1,550.
$1,550. Unit 6?
Unit 6, 2-bed, $2,500.
$2,500.
$2,500.
And then $2,500 for 8?
You got it.
All right. So
now just something to mention with the market rents. So we have a range when we pulled our comparables in the area. I actually went more conservative on the lower end of the range. There is properties there that were done to a higher standard that are achieving even higher rents by $200-$300 more a month.
And to get these market rents, you got to put in a little bit of money.
Yeah, like I tried to do it where, again, what we talked about, right? New flooring, some paint, maybe a little freshen up here and there, and that's the rent we'd be looking at for market.
So like 10 to 15 grand kind of thing,
I would
hopefully.
say so. Yeah, maybe not even in some units.
So we're looking at a potential increase in rents from current at about $17,040 to about $18,700 with a little bit of lipstick on some of the units. So we're not talking about a huge lift. So of course down the road and like just looking at what's happening in the market right now, Rents are going up pretty much as interest rates are going up. So it seems like there's some potential future lift here. Okay, I just corrected a couple of the current rents. We had a couple of those in a little bit high. So current rent is $16,190 across the building. And we're looking at market rent somewhere around $19,700. So let's go through the rest of the expenses and see how this works. I'm going to start with the $16,000 in the monthly rent, and then we're going to play with that and see how the new rents would affect our numbers.
Let's do it.
Okay, so for a vacancy allowance, do we want to throw something in there, like maybe a 1%? Or?
Yeah, I have 1% down.
Yeah, 1%. And then there's some other income on this building too, is there not?
There's laundry income here.
So we'll call laundry.
And we calculated that about $2,400 a year.
$2,400. Okay, so a little extra income doesn't hurt. Taxes, what are we looking at on this building?
Taxes are $16,816.
Okay, and then insurance on a building like this?
Current insurance policy, which is a brand new one actually, which is a $13,568.
That is a pricey insurance policy. It must be good coverage.
Well, when we get to the mortgage situation, right, you'll see that,
Well, I think the big thing is mortgage lenders want the full value of their loan covered in the policy, right? Yeah. So even though the building itself might be the least valuable part of the asset, because the land in Toronto is obviously the most expensive part, and your development charges and things like that, they want to see that it covers that amount. Yeah. So then that makes it very expensive. Okay, so something to keep in mind, maintenance, I've got 5%. But if you did equals, so $750 a door times...
I did $850 a door.
Okay, $850 a door.
Because it's not purpose built, right? Okay. It is retrofit. So I like to always boost that up a little bit more. There is going to be higher maintenance costs than those.
Right, sure. So I'm at 5%, I'm a little higher than that. That comes in somewhere around 4.25%. We could leave it at 4 for now and just talk qualitatively about if we're going to do some renovations, what that's going to cost too. Management, is this a self-manage?
Currently it is self-managed. I did add 6% in for management fee. Okay.
So 6% in for management fee.
Heat, $2,998.
$2,998. And then
hydro.
Yep.
$2,121.
2001.
Yeah. So just common area hydro.
Okay, so that's just electric.
Correct.
Okay, and then water.
And water, we're at $7,089.
$7,089.
So this is another example. I know we talked about this last week, I believe, but this would be a great example of sub-metering, a property that would benefit from sub-metering.
What about gas? Is there gas?
There's no gas in this building.
No gas.
Electric, yeah.
So all electric baseboard heating?
Heat pump.
Oh, every unit has a heat pump. Okay, so it's already got that efficiency.
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay, so you're saying sub-metering for water could be very helpful.
Yeah.
Or you just do you figure out what the building's used and just put in a
recoverable.
A recoverable, yeah. You just say this is what you're going to pay us. And there's fluctuation in there, but it cuts down on the administration.
For sure. Like even if you could reduce that water, obviously there's always going to be common area water for the laundry. But let's say you can reduce that from 7,000 down to even 2,000. Your bottom line is going to look nice and pretty.
Dollar saved is a dollar earned, right?
That's it.
So let's look at things like landscaping, snow removal, and garbage removal. Are we going to have a garbage disposal bin on site?
Yeah. So how this works is, it's in Toronto, and basically it's just curb.
So everybody just puts out on the curb. What happens if a tenant doesn't? Is there somebody that gives them what for?
Yeah, we got like a tenant. We don't really want to call it site super because that's not what it is.
So a tenant that gets a little bit of money.
A friendly tenant.
Friendly tenant. Okay. Right? So, and there's probably a little bit of an allowance for that friendly tenant, a little bit of money here and there to cover that effort, or no?
Oh, he's in one of the cheaper units.
Oh, okay, so he gets
been able to strike a deal
for now. Probably gonna have to strike a deal, but anyway, so
he'll tidy up the hallways and things like that.
There might be some, but also there's a pretty hefty maintenance allowance here, so that might cover some of his efforts. In terms of landscaping and snow removal, what are we looking at?
Yeah, so landscaping, snow removal on this particular property. I don't have an exact number for that because the property
is it a big parcel of grass or small?
It's very, very small.
So very small. You could even probably get one of the tenants to do it.
Yeah, and then
what about snow removal? It's just the walkways.
Yeah,
your friendly tenant can probably do that. So let's just budget like $1,000 to cover the friendly tenant.
Like here's the owners currently, or the sellers, I should say. Would
do it all, right?
Well, it's literally one walkway.
It's so small, right? Yeah,
into the corner, and then
this is the nice thing with Toronto is the properties are so small. Yeah. I mean, a lot of people wouldn't say that's nice, but it's nice when you don't have to clear snow, you don't have to do landscaping. So there's no actual on-site parking, is there?
There's 2 on-site parking spots at the rear.
Okay,
those are currently given to that 3-bedroom unit.
Oh, okay. So who clears that laneway? That tenant has to clear that laneway. Oh, yeah, because only one uses it, so that's only correct. One would clear it.
So the deal is that they clean their spot for parking.
Yeah.
And those spots could fetch actually a nice dollar amount.
Probably like $300 a month each.
Easy.
right?
350, yeah, 300.
Yeah, something to consider. But I mean, it's probably a nice carrot to dangle for the unit.
And
then
again, that's locked up with that 3-bedroom. So I didn't.
Well,
wanna,
and here's
I didn't wanna put
the
it in,
problem with that. If you wanted to do that, is then you have to bring somebody in to clear the snow. If you want to rent those out, you got to clear the snow on it. Yeah.
So is that $600?
It's going to be gone by the time you pay somebody to clear it. So it's a
removal.
nice carrot to dangle for the unit.
Yeah.
Makes sense. See, these are the nuance in the numbers, right? You got to look past the numbers sometimes and say, well, hey, hang on. Will we really get that? And then so for miscellaneous and cleaning, I always like to leave $500 in there because you never know.
Yep.
Okay. So what kind of price point are we talking here?
Yeah. So for this one, it's $4 million.
4 million. Okay. And so, a Toronto cap rate, 3.27 on face value here based on current rents. We're going to look at the market rents. So is this something that we can reasonably expect the buyer to be getting a 75% mortgage on, first mortgage?
Well, so that's where it gets interesting.
Okay.
Right. And that's why I love this deal, because you're looking at the metrics and you're going, well, okay, geez, 3.25.
Yeah.
Mine, because there are some tenants moving out, which we'll talk about.
Yeah.
So my cap rate that I've actually calculated on the purchase is closer to about a 3.6.
Okay. So knowing the tenants are moving out.
Yeah. There's already tenants moving out as we speak. Plus some rental increases are coming our way.
So there is going to be some increase coming.
On the closing date, we're going to be having about a 3.6% cap.
Is a lender going to respect that though? Or, like they're going to say, okay, you've given notice on these, or we've received notice on these. Let's apply a market rent to these two units.
But again, this one doesn't matter.
Why not?
Because we're assuming a mortgage.
Assuming the mortgage.
There we
Okay,
go.
here we go. So what's
That's
the mortgage amount?
So mortgage amount on this is $3 million today.
$3 million even.
Yeah.
And what's
okay, 2,999,882.
All right, we'll call it, we'll call it 74% then.
Yeah.
About that. So do you know the approximate remaining amortization?
So it was a 35-year am.
Okay, so
we've had it for a year and a half.
Okay, so it's about 33.5 left.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and what's the interest rate on it?
2.1%.
2.1. So this is the thing that might just make this deal work and work reasonably well. So we're showing a DCR of 1.07, but you're saying they don't even care. The lender, they're going to do their annual review and they're going to want to see it at 1.1, right? So right now it's at 1.07 on my numbers.
I actually have 1.2 on mine.
Okay.
And the reason is because I have the mortgage statement. So the fixed payments right now on this mortgage is $9,970.
Okay, so I'm coming in a touch higher than that. So it sounds like the mortgage is maybe a little bit less than what I calculated.
Yeah, and look, it's every day it gets paid down, right? So
we'll extend that amortization a touch. So yeah, okay, so I'm still a bit higher than the fixed payment. It sounds like, you're going to be a little bit higher. Like, I don't know what I have to do to this, why it's not coming in the same, but say you were at 35 years still, then you'd be 9809 on the mortgage payment.
Yeah, I just overrid it, overrode it.
Oh yeah, you overrode it. Okay, trust the mortgage statement at the end of the day, or at least that's what I would.
Right?
I would.
Here, so.
Okay, and I've noticed when in my sheet, some lenders, my sheet calculates the way they calculate interest exactly, and others, for some reason, it's a touch different.
And I've ran into that as well. Yeah. So what we can safely assume here is that the mortgage statement's accurate.
Okay, and that's what I would do. I mean,
that 9970 is going to be our monthly mortgage.
And that's not advice. That's just what we would do. Okay. All right. So market rent here now is where we look at what's possible. Mm-hmm. So the beautiful thing here is
let's talk cash flow for a moment, because I want to say, right, on acquisition,
it cash flows.
Property, right. Down payment, it's going to be $1 million.
The down payment's big. So if you look down here at the bottom, so we've got a pretty large down payment. When you include both the actual 20% you need plus land transfer and legals, you're going to be into 1.15-ish.
Yep.
That's not nothing, but if you can pull that together, you've got yourself a building that cash flows.
And that's the beautiful thing about this, is because you can go look, and I'm sure there's deals out there that make sense. There's some that don't. On average, you go to MLS, you go to different sources, you're going to find deals in Toronto. You're putting $1 million in no matter what kind of scenario, right? And you're coming out with no cash flow, right? So the nice part here is you're coming in with $1 million plus closing, and you're coming out, at least from my calculations on this, $22,694 a month.
This is a year. This is a great deal, in my opinion, to go find some joint venture investors.
That's
on
it.
Somebody who doesn't have the time, doesn't want to work it, but would like to own a building like this long term. Yeah, LP, GP, same idea as a joint venture.
Now you're controlling that beautiful piece of Toronto that's so unattainable for the average investor, and you're having a cash flow property from day one.
So the big thing here that's affecting, like, this is actually an incentive to buy, is being able to assume that mortgage.
Huge.
That's a huge
thing.
thing.
That is the main key to this deal.
How many years are left on that mortgage?
34,
but it's only a 5-year term, right?
5-year term.
Yeah, so they're midway on a 5-year term, or 3 years left on a 5-year term.
1 year in.
1 year in? Okay.
Yeah.
4 years left at that interest rate. And in the meantime, the hope would be for the buyer here that you can go in and you can increase the rents enough to be able to bear the renewal that happens in 4 years if rates are still high, which I would suspect they're still going to be higher than they are at 2.1%.
Let's go do market rents.
Yeah, let's look at market rent. So I'm literally just going to take my cell here and I'm going to hit equals and go over to the market rent number. So if by that 4 year point, the buyer here can get the income up, the numbers auto adjust here, percentages go up for maintenance and such. 4,200 in cash flow, significantly better. Let's say by the time he goes for renewal in 4 years, maybe he can get an interest rate around 4%. Is that a CMHC interest rate? It's a CMHC mortgage on this, CMHC, right? Yeah. So CMHC mortgages are all preferable rates. So maybe it's 4% at that point. Cash flow would still be positive in that scenario, be $1,100 there. But we can't forget that we're going on today's rental rates, and you never know in 4 years' time where rental rates will be. I mean, what we've seen so far is that the higher rates have really pushed up rent rates. We talked about London the other day. It was like 38% year over year increase.
Well, and Toronto's the same right now.
Yeah, really pushing up the rent values.
Even from when I ran this pro forma, let's say, what was this, probably 4 months ago now, 5 months ago, right? Rental rates have probably even increased since then.
So these market rents might actually even be higher than there are listed here.
They may be, but let's anyways.
Let's just say let's just say they're the same. Anyways, something to think about. I mean, obviously we don't have a crystal ball. We don't know exactly where things land in 4 years, but it's nice to know that at the 2.1% that he's got, if he can get it up to market, he can spend a few years with 4,000 cash flow. Potentially, if he could do it within the first year, that's potentially 3 years of crushing $4,000 a month cash flow, which would be all right. I wouldn't mind that.
No, it's not bad at all.
Okay, Jake, any other insights on this before we wrap up this episode?
Yeah, no, just back to what I said at the beginning, right? So we are going to be listing similar properties to this. CMHC, assumable mortgages. The ones actually coming up have a 50-year AM.
That'd be really cool, yeah.
That is something I want to also run on this show. We're not prepared to do that yet because we just don't have everything organized. But when we do, I'm really excited to look how the 50-year AM looks at a slightly higher rate, right? Okay. Because we're now talking a newer mortgage. So now we're looking at, 4%, let's say.
But at a 50-year AM.
But at 50-year AM, it's a very cool deal. I love getting creative. I love these structures.
Well, this is going to be this is like the new sort of breakaway market, or it's like a tangent market that's kind of coming up because of the high interest rates. Now it's seen as a major value to have an assumable mortgage at one of those pre-2022 mortgage rates. Your 2 point whatever is very lucrative. And that's actually going to add value to purchase prices now. Yeah. But there's also so many other tricks that are in the book. Vendor takebacks, aggressive offers, things like that. There's lots.
Just get creative.
There's lots of creative tools in the toolkit where if you work with somebody who knows what they're doing, they can help you with that. Or if you yourself know what you're doing, that's also helpful. But on that note, Jake, are you able to help people do this kind of thing and set these kind of deals up?
Yes, so we can, Andrew. And as always, people go to the bottom, click the link.
Yeah. Links in the description of the video. If you want to get connected with Jake, you guys can kind of put together a plan, a real estate acquisition plan, set out some goals, and figure out how to proceed from there.
Yep.
Awesome. If you made it this far, please hit the like, subscribe, notification bell, and leave us a comment. We're a humble and new growing channel, and we could greatly use your help with the algorithm. So show us some love. We'd really appreciate it. We appreciate you tuning in, and we'll see you next week.